Okay. Hey guys, episode 3, Shop Talk podcast.
We're rolling.
Back at it again. Thanks to everybody that is enjoying the Shop Talk podcast.
It's wild. It's absolutely crazy.
The amount of people that have had messaged me and everything is unreal. So everybody that's watched it, everybody that's listened to it, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And Brody, you're kind of blown away. You didn't have the highest expectations.
Well, yeah, you expect low, so when it fails, it's like, oh, okay, it failed, no big deal. But when you're expecting high and it fails, then you're expecting high for no reason at all.
Yeah, but who doesn't want to listen to us talk about snowmobiles and stuff for an hour at a time?
Well, I didn't know I was going to like it.
It's turning you into a snowmobile guy.
No, not really, but yeah, I've always just been in the garage bullshitting, so.
So episode 3, our first in-studio guest, big deal. Big deal. The man, the myth, the legend, Glen Arlaud.
G-Money.
Yep.
We need a G-Money sticker for the table.
Oh, shoot, we should have bought one.
Yep.
How's it going today, Dad?
Glad to be here. It's pretty fun.
And today's episode is also sponsored. Our first sponsored episode, Clearwater Coating out of Gonvick. We got Paul and Robin Ruckriegel, Jake Ruckriegel, even Steve goes there on Fridays and helps out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, best powder coating this side of the Mississippi. I'm pretty sure that's a fact.
That's a true fact.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. So yeah, this episode is sponsored to them. Thanks to them.
Aren't we north of Mississippi right now?
I think we're north and west of it, so it's almost two sides of it that they're the best on.
Yep.
Pretty much.
We're sweeping the nation here.
Yeah, Clearwater Coating, best in the nation.
You want to get technical, yes.
Stamp it. So okay, so we got Dad on today, and we're gonna kind of go over his racing career. We could go. He had pretty interesting upbringing, but we'll save that for maybe an off-season show.
Good idea. Yeah.
So Dad, you're quite known in the pits, and it's because you had a pretty good racing career, and then you kind of came back into the early or late 2010s when you got the old Gen 2s out there again.
Yep.
Kind of came back into it, but now a lot of people nowadays kind of know you as my dad and my mechanic out there. So you've kind of had a few different roles in your racing career. So let's just start it off. What was your first motorsport you got into? Like a dirt bike or snowmobile? What'd you have?
I lived with my grandparents, and then Grandpa got me a little dirt bike to ride, and that was pretty fun. And then he had a couple of old Skidoos, and so me and Pat would ride them old Skidoos, and it was a pretty funny story. He come through the cattails, Pat, and he bombed in and went under the ice and through the windshield. I still remember that blue plexiglass windshield. It was super tall, and it just busted into a million pieces.
And those were just on the farm, just
in the farm ditch.
Yeah. So what year would that have been? Like late 70s, early 80s? Would have been.
Yeah, late 70s.
Yeah. So you're just riding snowmobiles around the farm. What made you go watch a race? Like, did you ever watch the I-500 when they would come through Gonvick way back in the late 70s?
Yep. Me and Kevin Solberg.
Yeah.
We were into snowmobiles, and then so we were watching everything, and actually went down to Pine Lake, watched a couple later 80s races. Don't remember much of it because I didn't know anybody. Mm-hmm. And then in 93, we drove our sleds to Natash and went to a race. Kevin Solberg's wife hauled his carbides down there. He was so proud. He had some brand new 10-inch carbides in the package. Get down to the lake. He pulls them out of the package, puts them on his sled, and he can't turn worth a shit. Going down the straightaways, just racking from one side to the other. Will not turn.
So what kind of machines was that on?
Kevin Solberg had a 93 ZR 440 Special that he got from Black Magic.
Okay.
I had a 92 Prowler Special that I got out of Lapeers in Boston.
Yep. Okay.
So you watched a few of the early Pine Lake races. So it was 87 was their first year. So any...
the only thing I remember back then was Gerald Deardahl had a really fast Cougar. Mm-hmm. And I was about my only memories because I didn't know anybody, so we were just watching the snowmobiles go around.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of interesting on that list. The first machine to win it is a Scorpion, and they didn't make them in '87. They quit in '81.
That's what Rory Haugen won it on?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does say that. Yeah.
A Scorpion? I've never even heard that as a snowmobile.
Yeah, they were sweet. So they were bought out by Articat in 1980 or something like that. And then they made a Sidewinder that was the same thing as a LT Gray.
Okay.
And, so it had a 440 liquid in it, and it was they were fast machines for back in the day. And in '87 so I'm guessing they would be racing LT Grays and stuff like that, and maybe Cougars. Well, they were so heavy, and they had kind of had the same engine, so that chassis was a bit lighter, but it was old leaf spring chassis if that's the one I'm thinking of. So, so pretty cool to beat out the new machines on an older machine way back in the day.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah.
So you go just fast forward to 93 there. You trail rode your ice sled down to Natash.
Wasn't really an ice sled. It was my trail sled down there.
Yeah, you trail rode down to your first ice race.
We went down there to race, and we sucked. Neither one of us did worth a shit, but we were in the bar afterwards, and we were talking to people, and it was really fun.
Yeah. So that's where it started.
It started the next year. Then I got a '94 XCR right out of the showroom. Paid full price for it.
From Jessness, or was Jessness later?
Later, this one came from Swenson when he had Oakley.
Oh, okay. So that's where I have a blank right here. Like these mid '90s years, I don't know what you did because I wasn't born yet. So, so '94, you got your first XCR.
Yeah.
So still starting from scratch, not knowing anything.
Didn't know nothing. Could not make that thing turn at all. Didn't want to buy ice picks and put in trail studs, and would go to races. And I mean, right away, I put like 4,000 trail miles on the machine right away. Just my first new sled, and drove the heck out of it. And or my first new Polaris, and drove the heck out of it. Couldn't turn, just a learning year. Went to every race there was. We had Snow Week magazine back then.
Yep.
And you could look through it and you could find all the races that were coming up. And I would just scroll through there and go to a race. Didn't matter if it was snowcross or ice ovals or Le Mans. Went to Erskine, raced in Erskine in the Le Mans.
Yep.
That was quite a packed crowd.
Yep.
And totally out of my element. Didn't know nothing what I was doing. And it was just trying to figure it out. Didn't know anybody. It's all on my own.
How long did it take? How many years in races did you finally figure out I can make my sled faster?
About the beginning of '95, I went and got another brand new sled, and actually started making it handle, and I could drive it.
So '94 was just a total learning year.
Learning.
Just no results or nothing.
I'd check my times and I'd be just scratching my head. Like, what in the hell?
Because was that like the 440 liquid class?
Yep.
That they would do there then? Okay. You want to get a little closer there? Yeah, just a little bit. Brody had to keep turning you up. You were leaning back.
It's like you knew I was turning you up and you just kept backing away. Like, this son of a bitch.
This is all new to me, so
Yeah.
same thing.
First podcast, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First podcast.
Yeah, this is our third.
So yeah.
You guys are like veterans.
Yeah. This is the vet class over here.
Yeah.
We got rookies. Yeah.
So 95, another brand new Polaris. How was your 94 at the end of the season? Was it clapped out, or did you get any money for it? Or
Oh yeah. I got pretty good for it. It was they were really tough sleds. Actually, no breakdowns.
really?
Just wanted a new one. I was trying to get specials, and it was very difficult to get an XCR 440 special.
Yep.
You had to be a factory, and you had to show results.
Yep. So at your 95, did you end up getting a special?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
But it was a lot better sled than the 94. just all the way around. It was a better snowmobile.
Yeah, I know in '95 they had the specials had a 3-piece pipe, with a can, an actual tune pipe for machine or whatever. But the specials just had kind of a single pipe. I don't know if that had really any performance, added any performance. But no, it's just kind of cool, those machines in the years, going back in the time, and kind of collecting that kind of stuff is really cool because, you see all the little different tweaks that they made every single year, and strengthening them. And then 96 was kind of the same as 95. And then in 97, it came out with the exhaust valves, and, that's a bit more power and stuff like that. I don't know if they changed the classes up them years or
Mainly, if you had a 440, you were pro, or
okay.
really wasn't. Certain events had semi-pro class, but Hack and Sack might have had a different class. And then that's where I was watching Scott Roy race a lot. He raced all 3 classes.
Oh, really?
As an Ironman back then.
All 3 classes meaning what?
He raced the Pro 600, Pro 440, and Fan.
All on the same sled? No? Okay.
3 different sleds.
Oh, wow.
All day long.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was a total Ironman. I'd watch him, and I didn't know those guys at all. And I finally got guts enough to start talking to him and be friends with him. And I was working on my sled, getting it to work good. And I'd look at my times, and I was like, God, well, I'm just not quite there. And couldn't figure it out. It's like, what am I doing wrong? And Scott Roy passed me on coming out of a corner, and I was like, what in the heck? I was like, holy shit, that's what I'm doing wrong. He was just going way faster than me. And then after that, it clicked. And that was the kicking point right there.
Just carrying more momentum or
More
what?
momentum.
Oh,
Yeah. I actually had it working pretty good. I just wasn't driving it hard enough. And then by the mid-season of 95, Heartland race, Hack and Sack, I won. I got a win. I couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it.
And what series was that with at that time?
Hack and Sack was their own.
Oh, their own little club race.
They had club races. Yeah.
Sure.
They did them every weekend.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
So were you on a wedge all the way up to until you switched over to a Firecat?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, no, they'd be into a Gen 2.
Gen
Okay,
2
so you did race Gen 2.
in the fan.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So 95 first win.
Yep.
How did that feel? Like when you're racing, mid-race, you're making passes or
Oh, making passes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys. It was so easy. You'd show up in the morning, plunk down your $100 bill on the table, and then they would either draw a number for you or you would draw your own number for your starting position. And like a lot of times, I never got the front starts at all. I was always in the back, which worked out. If you watched it, you could use the people in front of you to show you where the corners were.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching their brake light.
Well, you could just see where they're turning
Oh, sure.
because you're on the lake and they're not staked out super well. You'd have like one flag way out there, and you didn't really, if you didn't know the course, you didn't know if it went right or left. But you'd see that guy turn left, so you knew it was left. And then you would swing way wide. You'd be not even close. And then you would just carry, instead of 30 miles an hour, you'd be going 70 miles an hour.
to make just one big sweeping.
One big arcing turn.
Because they'd only have one stake out there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that was where you really learned how to use your momentum, and
Carry different lines.
Cut your own groove, kind of.
they weren't plowed, but back in those years we didn't have a lot of snow.
Really?
So it was fine.
Yeah. God, I wish we went. I'd be totally fine with not much snow.
Yeah, right.
So yeah. So 95 into 96, and you're still to get another new XCR, or?
I got another XCR out of Oakley, and Steve Dolan was the owner of the Oakley Polaris at that time. And Steve Dolan really helped me a lot on learning how to do shocks and stuff.
No.
like that, shocks and setup.
So like, coming off of like how many, or kind of skipped through 96 there. Did you just get that one win that year, or did you do?
No, I just got that one win.
Oh, just that one. So like into 90. So into.
And then one more story at that Hackensack win. There was on mid race. There's a ice heave out in the freaking middle, about a foot high, super sharp, and just like, screw it, not letting off. Hit that thing. All I smelt was rubber and Hyfax for about half a lap. It just crunched so hard, but I didn't let off, and so that was. I think that was the only reason was right there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What happened to the sled?
Oh, the front torque arm was busted all to hell. But I had hit it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Right.
So then to get a new sled from Steve Dolan, did he give you any sort of deal on anything? Were you still just full privateer? Not even
privateer.
Not even under the race program or nothing?
Nothing.
Like any parts? So yeah, I suppose 95 was still just a learning year. So you were still kind of nervous to talk to any team Polaris guys, or? So Steve was kind of your first little.
The first guy to really acknowledge that this guy needs a little help.
Like he's fast, but yeah, he just needs a little more help to be more fast.
But Dolan had his own nephew, and so it was Robbie Dolan and Brock. Can't think of his last name right now. So those two were the team from Oakley, and so he's working with them. So he really can't hand out a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
There's no clutching tips or nothing like that. Just helping me with shocks, and which really was a lot.
Like just getting spacers in them for ice racing, or what?
Yeah. Lowered and then raised up again, and then lowered again and raised up.
Because you guys went back and forth from Le Mans to like ditch, Le Mans to ditch, like every other weekend.
Every other weekend.
Yeah. Man, people would bitch about that today.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was just the norm at that time.
Yeah.
So that's how we did it.
So then how'd 96 go with actually getting some help and another new sled? So you're going 3 years in a row with new sleds.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. That's wild to think about. You've had your sled how long?
Yeah, since 2017.
Yeah.
And then,
Wild.
so that was the I-500 was coming up. So I was like, yep, I'm going to do the I-500. So I was so cold. So then Wade Bakke in Gonvick, he let me work on my sled in the shop because he owned the gas station. Mm-hmm. So I worked on it in the shop, and then me not being very smart, I took the whole thing apart and rebuilt it with like 2 tubes of red Loctite.
Oh my God.
In preparation for the 500 miles.
Preparation for the 500.
Oh,
yes.
funny.
And that was not very smart.
Yeah, really hoping nothing breaks. You don't got to work on a damn thing.
Yeah. And lo and behold, the guys at the gas station, I didn't even know they were doing it. They set up a coffee can for donations.
Yep.
And by the time it was all ready to go, then they gave me that coffee can. There was $1,200 in there. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a lot of money back in the
That was
day.
unreal. And that was all just guys from the community at the gas station and whoever else comes in there and put money in there.
Yeah.
It was,
Wow.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's
that
wild.
was so helpful. It paid for all of it.
Yeah. Wow. That's a
Well,
big
not,
deal.
not everything, but I mean, all the motels and the gas and it was pretty intimidating first time doing it, going up there.
Yeah, I bet.
We'd go to Winnipeg and start, and when we got there to unload the sled and get it in staging, and it's like, oh my gosh, what did I get into?
This is a hell of a commitment. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And it was so cold. It was the morning when we were taking off, it was 18 below zero.
Yeah.
And it was, what am I going to do? And it was sunny, and we took off in the morning, and blinding snow dust the whole way. It seemed like all the way to Thief River, just blinding snow dust.
Just a sheet of paper.
Yeah, it was terrible. I had like 3 guys pass me: Brad Pake, Lynn Felker, and some other guy. I didn't get his number. So I thought I was doing okay. But I was in, after it was all said and done, I was in like 60th place. So some of my other buddies were like, you didn't even make the top 50. I was like, well, I couldn't really see very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I came pretty close to some guide wires. I crossed a couple of approaches. I'd never seen them. Didn't see them coming.
Just launched them.
Just
And, holy
all of a
shit.
sudden, you're in the air.
Hate when that happens.
Oh, it was so awful. I couldn't believe how Brad Pate could drive into that blinding snow dust. He passed me, and I could not see a thing.
Because he went on to win it in '96. He won it that year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really crazy. Then day 2 was took off feeling really good on the river. We left the river about 30 miles in, started making a hell of a racket. The exhaust pipe broke off on that landing piece on the side where it sits.
Yep.
That folded up, so it opened up the pipe. And all you could smell was burnt plastic. And I was like, well, when's it going to catch on fire? And then, so it was just louder than hell. And then it started actually handling better. Well, the front shock broke off of the torque arm and it laid on the track. So there was no front shock.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
just laying there banging around.
Oh my God. Yeah, that'll make a hell of a racket. My God.
Yeah.
So then drove all the way to Bemidji like that, and which was pretty good. It would only
Pretty good.
It only went 85 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But I was so pissed that I didn't let off for nothing. So I'm still. It was crazy how that works. It's not going as fast, so it's not as scary.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're
ended
not
up,
letting off so much. You're not hitting the brakes so much because you're not going so fast, but you're just at a better, faster, constant speed.
constant
Yeah.
pace. Yeah. And 24th overall
Oh,
for the
no
day.
kidding.
oh shit.
Ninth fastest Polaris of the day.
Jeez, that's quite the jump from 60th to
Yeah, my God. With a broken sled.
And it was busted to hell. And so then in the pits, they only gave you the first time a half hour to work on your sled. It was always an hour. So this time it was only a half hour.
Why? Any idea why they did that?
No idea.
Just to change it up.
Yep. I think it was because they knew I was broke down.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah, that's the only reason. And it took me, I Loctited everything.
Yeah.
It took me 54 minutes to change the front torque arm and the pipe and fill it up with gas and oil. And so I went 24 minutes over the clock and I lost another 70 spots.
oh jeez.
So it put me way back.
Yeah.
So on day 3, we ran the course backwards all the way to the bridge on the Gully Road. That's when it started fresh course again, right there. And then we went to Roseau from there. So that whole backwards track, that was pretty rough.
No, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backwards. Everything's frozen the wrong way.
Yep.
Yep.
Frozen the wrong way.
Yeah, all the approaches are
God, that's
cased out on
wild.
the wrong end.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is wild.
Could you imagine doing that now?
Oh, that would
When did they stop doing that?
They
After that.
After that? Oh my God. They did it
One
one time. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. You can't do that and expect people to live.
Well, hey, at least they learned quick on that one. Jesus Christ.
But so took off and I don't know, passed about 40 sleds on the way to Roseau and ended up in 91st place.
91st overall.
Yep.
Any idea how much? What were the entries that year? Like how
It was like $500 some.
the entries?
Oh, how many people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was over 250.
Yeah. And that's
So not last.
Yeah.
Not last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad for your first time.
because that was all. It was just like there was one class. Like
Yep.
it was just that one class pretty much.
And being able to finish it,
Yeah.
finish the race,
Just
that's a
finishing.
big-
There was, I mean, you lose a quarter of the field on each day.
Yep. Yep.
So I was pretty glad to do the I-500 3 times and finish all 3 times.
No, that's pretty good.
I'm 0 for 2.
Yep. 0 for 2.
Yeah, same here.
Yep. Is that your record too?
Yeah, I might have done it 3 times, so I might be 0 for 3. So
Well, you got everyone at this table beat.
So to finish the I-500 in 96, then anything else in 96?
Nope, that was about the highlight of the season was just finishing the I-500 and
Still learning.
still learning.
Don't Loctite everything.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve.
Well, in theory, it makes sense. Don't want anything rattling apart.
Yeah.
But when you got to take it apart.
Yeah. I couldn't get the shafts taking the skid frame stuff off. I couldn't get the shafts to quit spinning, so that was my trouble.
Yep.
How was it when you had to work on it there? How was the weather? Was it cold or was
It was actually pretty decent, and I was getting super frustrated working on that sled too. And there was guys that were cheering me on, keep going.
because were you by yourself or did you have somebody helping you?
I had Howard Sturman and Randy Severson helped me. We all three of us went to Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
So they were my pit guys.
Sure.
Nice.
Two real good, helpful guys.
Yeah.
That was great.
So then 96 into 97.
97 was I switched to the fan class in 97.
Yeah, why?
Sleds were cheaper, parts were cheaper. It was entry fees were cheaper. Everything was just money all the way around.
Yeah, because it was kind of the 440 liquid class was kind of the pro class, and then it kind of turned into the fan class was kind of the semi-pro.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly what happened. Yep. And the fan class was so fun. The speeds are down, entry fees are less, and you don't have to buy nearly as many pistons.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you don't buy any piston.
Yeah.
If you jet it down too lean, the only thing it does is go slower. You don't wreck the whole works.
Yeah.
And entry fees are lower, and so there's more guys trying and racing in the class. Yeah.
Very big class, very competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
you're-
fun.
you're not
A lot
having
more
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Not having to battle Pake and Kirk and
Right.
all those guys
Yeah.
every weekend
I mean,
too.
total rookie. You can't race against those guys.
Yeah, that is kind of silly.
Corey Davidson was tearing it up them years, 97, 98, you know. That's pretty stiff competition in the pro class.
Yeah, there were. It would be very difficult to break the top 10.
Yep.
So 97, had you made your way to Pine Lake yet? Would have been the year that Brian won it when
Yep.
Gerald passed.
Yeah, raced at Pine Lake in 97. Actually, can't remember my finish.
Oh, really?
No,
Because it was just fan
I was
class.
in the fan class.
Yep.
And it was pretty busy with all my other stuff, so it really didn't get to pay a lot of attention to what else was going on.
Sure. Because you're still learning. You're still.
A different sled now, still way learning.
Oh, yeah. I
So
suppose
different
going from-
sled, different new stuff to learn. Yeah.
Actually figuring out clutching, and then the fan sled that took me a little bit to figure out on the jetting.
Oh,
All was going the wrong way.
was that one also from Oakley, or did you get
I
that?
bought one from Oakley and I bought my wife Peggy one from Bagley.
Oh,
So I
two.
bought two sleds that year.
Jeez.
Big year. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, two fan cool sleds.
Oh, I suppose because they were kind of equal out to the same price as maybe a liquid, or what? Or were they not that much different?
Not that much, but it saved a lot of money though.
Oh, okay. So 97 then. So yeah. So yeah, that was what I was always curious about on why you switched from liquids to fanners.
Had to. Couldn't
Yeah.
afford it.
Yeah, it's the rookie sled. Yeah. You're still a rookie, you buy the rookie sled. And you
Yeah.
Get good on that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was older than most of the guys, but I was still new.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that's what Brady Deardall always makes the joke to you, that you were the old guy beating up on the young kids in the fan class.
All is. Couldn't help it though. It was my class, and it's where I wanted to be, and it was where I could afford to race.
Yeah. And it was you were competitive too. It wasn't like you were just dominating fan class.
Gosh, no.
It
It
was-
was fourth place was a pretty good spot for me. I hit fourth place a lot, it seemed like. Was really never just dominating, but I was always right there near the front.
competitive.
Yeah. Competitive and consistent in the top 5.
You couldn't if you blew one corner, you were going to be out of the top 10 because it was
that close.
top 8 sleds are within 6 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
It was really tight.
Yeah. Tight and fun. Competitive. Yeah.
So 97, you were 30, 31, 32. Was there any training going on at all?
A little bit, not a lot. I just I worked construction, so that was my training. I did a lot of shoveling, a lot of pipe wrenching, and really physical. Cut a lot of firewood.
Yeah. Were dirt bikes involved yet? Or was that in a few years?
Just in a couple more years.
Oh, okay.
The very next year in 98 is when started hanging around, or Josh worked at Justin's Polaris. So then me and Josh Davis got to be buddies. And so started taking Josh to races, and he raced, but he didn't have a driver's license yet.
Jesus Christ. That's wild.
That was another thing I was wondering on how you got hooked up with Josh and the Justness guys.
Just
how did that come about?
Sam let me work in the shop in the wintertime when I was laid off. And then that was part of my first actual helping sponsorship from Sam. By letting me work there, and then I got a little break on parts too. So that was worked out good. Met Josh. We worked out really good together. And we started working on our snowmobiles together. And now I had a teammate.
Yeah.
So now stuff started to click.
You can try different things.
Yeah.
His worked, yours didn't. So go with his way. And then
So this was 98 now then?
98.
So another new fanner.
No, I kept my same fan.
Oh, really?
Josh had a new one. He had a new 98. There was no changes.
Oh.
There was no reason to get a new one because there was no changes.
Yep.
And it worked out really good. And then, so on Pine Lake, after all of our testing and practicing and testing, we finally got our sleds pretty good.
Yeah.
And we could race with the faster guys and run right along with them on the long straightaways at Pine Lake. So it was fun.
Yeah.
finally seeing progress where it's you're the fastest one on the ice.
And both of our sleds, the whole time me and Josh would tune together, we never came up with the same setups on either sled. Never. Not even once.
Huh.
It just wouldn't work that way.
Huh. Strange.
Did you ever jump on each other's sleds and try like, why does this work on yours and not on mine?
Yeah. And it would be very hard to tell the difference.
This is weird. You get 10 sleds in a line and not a single one of them are the same.
Yeah.
No, they'd be all different. You
Yeah.
could line up 10 brand new ones and you'll have 2 that are fast or 3 that are fast, and line them 3 up and there'll be 1 out of them 3 that's really fast.
Huh.
Yeah, like one was built on a Wednesday and the other one was on a Friday when people didn't give a shit. Yeah. Isn't there a saying, never buy a sled built on a Monday or a Friday or something like that? Yeah.
I could see that. So the 98, so how'd 98 go?
98 went really well. We had both had good finishes at Pine Lake. Can't remember the exact.
Well, actually, it was
Numbers?
98 was canceled at Pine Lake because of the weather.
What was it?
Yeah, at least in their they're in their list of winners here. It says 98 was canceled because of the weather.
Well, then my dates are wrong.
Well, it could overlay weird because sometimes they do put 96, 97 in the
Yeah.
same category, and
Yeah.
then 97, 98 would be in the same same year there too. So maybe
Maybe that was a 99 season that they canceled. Or
that could be. Yeah, it could be like December of 98.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
hard to say.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever then.
That's pretty far back. I can't remember.
Yeah, only about 24 years.
Yeah.
No, 98. That'd be 26 years. 25.
Yeah, some of the dates can be mixed up, but the stories are true.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on any numbers.
On
Just-
any dates.
yeah.
It's funny on listening to all the dirt bike podcasts that I do that like some guys can remember their career like to the race. And then like some guys like Kevin Windham, he can't tell you anything about his career. Nothing. You don't remember anything. Or Damon Bradshaw, they have no idea. They remember a few little bits and pieces here and there, but other than that, it's all just pictures for them.
Yeah, that's what it would be like for me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But then you get like David Bailey or like Ricky Carmichael, and they can remember like the motos, like and like I tripled out, and then there's a triple double, and there was a rock in that corner there, and
I bet some of those guys are lying now.
I don't know, they're pretty
know.
darn accurate. So it's pretty, at least you've remembered more than I thought you would so far. So it's going good.
It's got to be a certain thing to make it click in my memory.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to actually be something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So then, so 98, you and Josh are teammates, still both on Fanners, out of the Justness trailer, or were you guys two-place in it? Or?
No, we're out of the Justness. Well, the trailer might have came along in 99, maybe. Can't remember there, because me and Josh did a lot of races on my two-place trailer. We were coming back from a race. It's dark, and the road is ice covered, so it's kind of rough. And Josh was like, "I wonder what that noise is." I said, "It's got to be just this rough ice." And we get to town, and here the one wheel is gone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The wheel is gone, the rim is gone, and most of the hub is gone.
Oh, my God.
And so there's just barely enough stuff left there to even mount the spare tire back on it.
Oh, my God.
And it was like, yep, that's why it was rough sounding.
Yeah, that'll make it a little rough.
Couldn't believe it. Got out with a flashlight, and there was nothing there. It was like all gone.
How long did you drive like that for?
Oh, it had to be 40, 50 miles.
Jesus. Just never thought.
Yeah, really rough road here.
Just really rough. Yeah. Don't know what the hell.
It was rough ice, you know.
Yeah.
And then when that tire let go, it took all the wiring and everything with it. And
Nasty.
once we got going, there's no trailer lights or nothing. Well, it's funny. So, you know, something like that, guy remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 98, were you kind of, how was Josh in 98? Was that his first year, or?
Yeah.
So you were kind of.
Josh had a trail sled that was he had an XCR 600 for a trail sled.
Oh,
So the fan class was,
slow for him.
yeah. So he hopped on that, and he was right up to speed within just a few races.
So you're kind of mentoring Josh a little bit, but then also learning from him pretty quick.
Yeah, at the start. Josh Davis, he's the smartest man I've ever met.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, scary smart.
Yeah, I'd put him as the smartest person I know.
Yeah, he's up there, 100%.
So it was pretty easy to learn stuff from him, and then he learned from me, and then after a while on the tuning, I was gone all week and he worked all week, so we'd get to Pine Lake when there was ice, and we'd be out there at night because there was Justin. He'd bring the big Justin's trailer, so we had lights on that, and we would work for hours and hours and just try whatever we could think of to try.
Yep.
Just in the night on the ice.
Yeah, actually go and we had grinders, and we'd buy weights and grind them up, and we'd make our own profiles sometimes, and some stuff would work, some stuff wouldn't. I got a whole box of junk.
Yeah. Well, you got multiple boxes of junk, but it's not junk until you need it. Someday you might need it.
Yeah, there was a guy brought over a sled last year, and his weights and pins and everything was shot. So I dug through my box, and here, this stuff will work for you. And he's like, God, it's like 5 miles an hour faster than earlier. And that happens more than once.
Yeah, more than you'd think.
Yeah, for sure. So then 98, did you do the 500 again? 98?
Nope.
Took a 97 was enough for you, enough 500ing for you.
Yeah.
So then, 90. Any other highlights from 98 then? Like, were you going to Natash at this point too? Was Natash a race you'd hit up, or after you and Kevin Solberg went down there and raced trail sleds, you kept going back?
Well, I went back to Natash in 96, and that was my first Pro 440 win. Was there?
Oh, you missed that.
Yeah, you jumped that.
Yeah. Yeah. Might be your fault that we jumped that.
You're
Anyway,
the blame guy.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
the blame
Yeah. I'm the asshole. You take the blame. I don't care.
So that was a really fun race. It was super warm. The snow was soft. There was deep holes in the snow that were full of water. And I actually got myself bucked off in practice.
Practice lap.
Practice laps. And I got thrown right off. It just all of a sudden got in them holes and just boom, 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 poof, gone.
Yeah.
And I got up and I ran through the slush and got back to my sled. It didn't even tip over or nothing. Just threw me off.
Even today, that course kind of holds the same reputation of rough, bumpy, big holes, getting thrown off. Yeah.
And towards the end of the race, it was me and Scott Roy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was looking back, and he's in a way different line than me, and we're coming up. I know where the corner is, and he's way over there. I was like, God darn it. I was like, no way. And that was where I was pushing it as hard as I could then to get to that next corner. And then I had a good clean sailing to the finish line. But if he would have beat me there, then he would end up winning.
Nice battle with Roy.
Yeah. And that was pretty fun. We drank some beers that night. So that was a really good 440 win for me there.
Good.
So did they have that as like the pro 440, and then did they also have the Snowdeal Open at that point too?
That didn't come into play yet.
Oh,
They didn't
okay.
have that yet.
Okay. So moving into 99 then, would that be the first year the Gen 2
The Gen 2 99, yes.
fan? Oh, okay.
Fan.
So that's one of my first sleds I remember seeing. Like that's when I look at old pictures, it's like, yeah, I remember seeing that sled.
They were pretty good sleds, high points and low points. They were, once me and Josh got our sleds dialed in, we both had really good setups. And one day it would run 95 on the speedo, and you turn around and go the next day, 72 miles an hour. Like, what in the hell is going on here? Couldn't figure it out. I still to this day never could figure that out. And when it would hit good, either one of us could win. And if the wind was the wrong direction, they were both slow. Couldn't figure it out. Neither one of us had the same setup.
Weird.
And one of the last races was, can't remember where, might have been Grafton. And they were both running good the day before, Friday, just shining, And get to Grafton, there again, 75 miles an hour.
Just dead in the water.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
So we both didn't have very good finishes that day. Sunday comes around, and Josh is working on his sled, changes jets. We both got gassed at the same spot, and I was like, well, change jets too. And he ends up winning, and my sled blows up.
So yeah.
Oh, funny.
I come, at that time, I was second place in the points for the season, and I come rolling into the pits with one spark plug out, only running on one cylinder, and funny didn't catch on fire. 'Cause under the hood is just solid gas.
Well, yeah, you got the spark plug out. Yeah, it's just shooting gas.
The only way it would run.
Oh my god.
So I drove it in, and then there was some people there that were clapping that I would come in, broke down, and I was like, son of a gun. I hated to see that. I don't really care I hate DNFs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everyone does. No one wants
Yeah.
to start a race and then not finish it.
Yeah, that really was, that was a tough one. Finished out that year. I said I was in second. I think I finished out the year in 7th place.
Yeah, I think it's 7th on the plaque on the wall there. So were the Polarises at this time, were they like, why were you on Polaris you were still with Jessness at the time too?
Yep.
But were the Polarises equal, better, worse than any Skidoos or Arctic Cats out there at that time?
I hadn't driven the Arctic Cats, and we were way behind on what the Arctic Cats could do and what we could do.
Really?
Yeah.
In 99, they had a Snow Pro chassis, so maybe a little,
They had a timing box on there. They could adjust the timing, and then just the ride. I didn't realize the ride until we got our 97 liquid.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then after riding that, it was like, holy buckets. We were really not up to the same speed as the Articats had. But I hadn't ridden one, so I didn't know what those guys had.
Yeah, didn't know what you were missing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was one race, there was wind-blown tree line, half a mile, super deep, 4-foot stuff, 3-foot stuff. And I'm bombing through there. And I remember a guy, Aaron Janish on Articat, and he come flying by me on the high side, the high stuff, and just flat out. I was like, I can't do that. Can't remember what place he got, but I think he did pretty well. Aaron Janish, I think his name.
Yeah, I really enjoyed riding that ZR 440 in the ditch. And then I remember you saying that this last winter. Holy cow, this thing rides nice.
Yeah. It's way different than those old Polaris's.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird. Was a skidoo, any skidoos out there that were?
Not really, just the top tier guys.
So 99 was so you're still, so I suppose you weren't really racing like the pro classes on the fanners, like to go down to Natash or anything at the end of the year. That was still in the fan class. So 99, I'm trying to look at my notes here. So right into 2000 then was.
Same sled.
Oh, really?
I kept that same sled. I bought a new one, drove it for 200 miles and sold it.
Oh, really? Why?
It wasn't very fast.
Just, made on a Monday or something.
It's like, I can't ride this when my old one is sitting there. That's 6 miles an hour faster.
Yeah. What's the point of trying to get that thing?
And, I might have drove it. I raced it maybe once or twice. And I went back I kept going back to the 99.
Just because it was broken nice.
Yeah. By this time, it probably had 6,000 miles on it.
So you knew what you were doing with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things, 6,000 miles, they were a little more, they held up a little more.
A lot
than
more stout.
Our sleds at 6,000 miles.
Well, yeah, they weren't quite as heavy.
Yeah. Yep. And they were kind of one piece tunnels and everything. So they were solid.
Yeah, they were very solid sleds. You'd break the sway bar, plastic mount. Every once in a while, you could break that. Pretty tough sleds. They didn't really break much. If you hit something hard, you'd break the trailing arm bolt out of your footwell.
Yep.
Did that a couple times. Practice in the mornings at races. Hit something too hard. It's like, ding. Start looking for drills and easy outs, and a little bit of heat they'd come out of there.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad.
You got any old fanners, Kyle?
I did get one last year at 99 XCF.
Oh, really?
Gen 2. Yep. And it's kind of the real finicky. Yeah, not fun to work on.
No, they're change jets on them
Yep.
every 10 degrees.
Yep.
Watch the barometer, change jets all the time.
Yep.
So with the 2000 season, then same thing. Doing you're still doing all the races. Like,
All of them, yeah. Everything, cross country, ice, whatever we could go to.
yeah.
Then they would throw a snow cross in there.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. Is that you guys used to go all the way out to West Yellowstone for snowcross cross country races?
Yep.
What timeline was that?
That was 98, I think.
Because yeah, you actually raced Blair Morgan out there, didn't you? At one.
I didn't race Blair Morgan. He was there.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were on fans and he's on liquid.
Yep. Yep.
But on one of the weekends in West Yellowstone, it was the race, and I think Blair Morgan was on the cross country, because we did a cross country and a snow cross in the same weekend. And I think Blair Morgan did the cross country track, and he either bent the A-arm or he didn't like it or something. But can't quote me on that, but that was the report.
Oh. So yeah, you guys were hitting up everything to go all the way out to West Yellowstone.
Yeah. So West Yellowstone there now, I remember that one because I got 4th in the cross country and I got 4th in the snowcross.
Because for somebody that hates driving and hates road trips, you guys put the miles on back in the day.
We had Justin's 30-foot trailer so packed full of sleds. The tracks were on top of hoods in the trailer. And then there was guys in the trailer when I was driving. And I was like, it's pretty sketchy.
Wow. Yeah, that's commitment right there. That's commitment to the cause. That's awesome. I'd be one of those guys in the back.
Yeah.
Just sitting on a sled.
Crunched up, pumped up, ready to go.
Just ready. Sit back there for hours, wouldn't care.
That was a long drive. Went like 30 some hours, no sleep.
Oofta.
Holy shit, that's wild.
When we got there, I couldn't go to sleep. It was wired or something.
Just, yeah,
Just
amped up.
awake the whole time.
Just jacked up on Mountain Dew. So bouncing around a little bit, back to 2000, was there anything that stood out in 2000 there then? Like who are the top guys you were battling with like in 2000 there? Because Josh was still in the fan class.
Yeah, Josh was tough. There was God, I just can't remember their names.
Was Brady a part of the fan class?
Yeah, he was in the fan class. Yep. He was a tough competitor. He was always near the front.
So we found one name.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh and Brady. All right.
Yeah.
Got one.
Yeah. No, it's kind of interesting.
Like,
I bought a whole bunch of old Snow Week magazines or whatever, and one of them is Pine Lake from, was it 03? And they had a 500 class that year or whatever for the Firecats. Well, Brady had gotten 4th or 5th place on a 2001 fan-cooled ZR. That was pretty impressive.
Well, no, because he raced the fan class, and then he also, that was the year that they tried making the 500 class, the top tier class.
Yep.
And then so he jumped on his F5 and he got 2nd in the pro class.
Okay.
Yep, behind Justin Winter.
Yep. Okay.
And then that was the year that Brady retired too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he only made he stopped in 03.
Huh.
So but that's jumping ahead in my timeline here. You got a little bit here.
Stick to the timeline.
Stick in order.
See, this is why I don't like making timelines, because then you have to stick to it. You don't know what else to talk about.
We've bounced back and forth 3 or 4 times now,
Yeah.
so we'll get enough stories in there. So the pack full Justin's trailer in 2000, the whole year.
Yeah, there was Troy was racing, and Dave Gerbrot, and Barrett. The whole Justin's gang.
Mm-hmm.
Sam would do a few races too.
Oh, like the Masters class
Yep,
back
Masters class. Boston, Natash, stuff like that.
then? So, and then like even Brad Naplin, was he around at that time? Yeah.
He was in the fan class. He was pretty tough. There was some other guys' names. I can see them, but I just can't picture their
Yeah,
names.
I should have printed off, like tried to find one race result from that year, from that early 2000 years.
And yeah,
Eric Rowland from Northern Crankshaft. He was in it. He was pretty tough. Like I said, the Aaron Janish guy, he was tough. Them Articat guys, MacArthur, he was tough.
but you got to remember, Dad's not the best with names.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is
He
true.
was terrible at names.
Yeah.
Talked to a guy at Heydays for like 10 minutes. I said, "Who's that?" No idea.
I met him before. I know his face. I recognize him. Can't tell you his name.
Could not pick out his name.
So then into 01, the fan was still in the Gen 2 chassis at that time, right? They hadn't
No,
gone.
they switched it to the Edge.
Oh, you did? Oh, they did go to the Edge. Okay. So I have, there is one picture of you guys lined up at Pine Lake. I think it's you and Brad Naplin lined up like just in staging together or something. And your sled, your belly pan is on the ice of that Edge. Like, was that how they handled, or was that something you were trying, or?
No, we had to get it low to handle.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because those were good handling ice sleds, though, weren't they?
yeah, they weren't very fast though.
Oh, okay. Compared to those ZRs.
No, players came out with they tried to make a roller secondary. and it just was not very good. And there again, too, I only put a few hundred miles on that sled, raced it a couple times, and back to the 99.
Really? So then you're the guy out there on the old sled.
Yeah. The
That's
old,
when
old
that's
fast sled.
That's
Yeah.
when it started.
Yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't changed.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sense to racing a new slow sled.
No.
No, not when you have an old faster one.
Yeah, when it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Just keep winning on the fast one.
So 01, any
No highlights. No.
Still just do
No,
it. Just
I can
just
think
do
of
it.
one.
What?
Never mind.
01.
01.
Yeah.
I was 9/11. I don't know. It just popped in my head. Any highlights from the year? Sorry. Back to snowmobiles.
Huh. So still just doing all the races.
Yep. Hit everyone.
When did that stop?
Kind of
Probably at 04, 05.
4, 5.
It's in the timeline.
It's in the time. Yeah. We were getting there.
Yeah. I did research on this today. I looked at pictures. I tried finding results. It's really hard to find
Right.
results. Like I even wanted to try to find like some USXC results from like 11, 12, 13, 14. They're gone. Like I can't find them.
I'd like to get a printout of all the Natawash years
Yeah.
results.
That was one thing I tried to look up to. That there's nothing of that.
Well, I remember back in the day before USXE started Natawash or whatever, they back in the lodge they used to just have sheets of paper and you'd write your name down for the class or whatever. So I imagine that it's probably not recorded anywhere. It's probably on them sheets of paper.
I'll
Yeah.
have to ask somebody if they have the recordings of all the races they've had.
Yeah. Maybe.
They could maybe on who they wrote checks out to. Maybe that would,
Might be the only recorded evidence.
or maybe a picture here and there, but who knows?
Yeah, it's all just memory now.
Yeah. So that's why, because there's some Natawash wins in there in your career, but it's hard to say when they were, like what year. But we'll get to it.
It's in the timeline.
It's in the timeline.
It's coming.
So into 02 then, fan class still.
Yep,
Another new edge, and then switch back to the 99 or what?
exactly.
Really?
Brand new.
What'd you do to that 99 to make it so fast? Or it was a fast sled, and by this time it's probably got 10,000 miles on it.
It's got a lot of miles on it. I think it was probably on the second speedometer even, because the first one it broke, and then you got the glass would break in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'd hit hard, and it would the plexiglass would just break.
What are you doing?
Got a badger in the throat.
Yeah,
Sorry.
right.
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, it was exactly the same thing. Put a few miles on it, raced it a few times, and sold it, and went back to 99.
So 02 was,
And then at this time, Josh had switched to the liquid.
pro class.
Yep. So he was pro.
One less guy to battle in the fan class then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably happy to see him go.
Any good you and Josh battles? Didn't Josh run into you once or twice?
Josh hit me a few times.
Yeah.
Josh crashed me at a snowcross race. We were both in the air, and he was coming down a little higher than me and landed on my ski midair, and it flipped me sideways.
I'll do it.
And one other time, we did a enduro race at the Foston track, and it was like a 10-lapper, which they normally don't do. Mm-hmm. And my sled was getting heat soaked, and I was in the lead, and it started slowing down, and Josh comes up and just rams a ski right into the back of me. There we were, both stuck.
Funny.
Yeah, he should have went around me instead of running in the back of me. And he would have ended up winning.
But there you are.
But you can't get mad at him for too long.
No.
It's only only mad for like 1 or 2 minutes, Get over it.
Yeah. Once the adrenaline dies down, then you're like, okay, yeah, no big deal. Yeah.
So then going into 03, what was the reasoning they tried to get everybody to switch to 500s? Was that a big move? Like, was that a big deal in the circuit? Like to try to run production 500s?
Yeah, they wanted to. Everybody made a 500. I don't know why it only lasted 1 year. I liked it because I spent a lot of money and I bought a 500.
Yep.
And then right away, yep, we're going to switch to 600s.
Because you bought a brand new 03 F5.
Yeah, I made the Articat race program at that year, and I got my paperwork and everything, and no sled available.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Jesus.
so that was kind of a bummer. But I just went to Justice and bought one off the showroom floor and paid full price for it, and
What was any idea what the price of that was back in 03?
it was $6,000.
Really? Out the door, $6,000.
Yep.
Wow. So I kind of skipped over, like, in these early 2000 years here, were you part of the Polaris team? Like, were you?
I got the
Race
sleds through my race program.
Yeah.
Through the race program. Yeah, all of those from the 99 was a program sled too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Was Polaris mad at you for running that 99 still while the edges were out in the early 2000s?
They never really said nothing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal.
Nah, it's just Glen.
Yeah.
So 03, you had a fast F5, right?
Yeah, it was really good right out of the gate. It was really good. And then didn't make one race and blew a belt and over revved the motor like twice going down the straightaway. Mm-hmm. Helmet on. Really didn't understand what happened and when the belt blew, and then it never ran the same after that.
So would that have been like pre-Pine Lake race? Because they raced the F5.
It was during one of the qualifiers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what class were you in that year then? Was everybody if you're all on 500s, was it just one class again? Or was there like a 500 pro and a 500 semi-pro?
I think there was a semi-pro because I don't think I was in the pro class.
Yeah. But
So it had to be a semi-pro. Had to be.
yeah. But they had you at like 108 on the radar gun before when it was running good.
Yeah, run really good. I said, come and get your box tuned. And 108. I was like, nope.
No. Again, why change it? Yeah.
Yeah. So ran the F5 all year in 03, but it just never ran right after.
Never the same. It ran good. It just was not the same.
Not showing 108 again.
Yeah, what do you think happened to it? Just over revved and
Only thing I can think of is I never really checked it, but I think the crank got out of index or
out of phase in a little bit. Yeah.
out of phase. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just over revving like that, going how fast?
Well, it's probably going 108.
Yeah. So, blow a belt at 108 and then you just punch the gas. You're not.
Yeah, I hit it twice.
Like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah.
I think that happened to that 05 Rev that I raced back in 2014 when I got behind a guy in the draft in Pine Lake, like drafted right up next to him, and like watching my speedo was like 110, 111, 112, and it felt like after that race weekend, like we went down to DL and it just didn't feel like it had it. Like it just over revved it right there, just because it got so fast, so quick.
Yeah.
And then the crank bearing did lock up in the 500
Yeah.
that year. So maybe that's when it did start going down. So
Yeah.
maybe there's something to that.
Got it. Some.
Yeah, you started losing
No
the crank
draft,
bearing after
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole year on the F5 of running not very good. So then
I didn't do all the races that year.
oh really?
No, because it just wasn't the same. So
Yeah. No sense running a slow sled.
Yeah, I really didn't have the drive to make the drive to every
yeah,
race.
so I was just picking and choosing. I probably only did a couple of events that year.
Well, yeah, because you went all out for 5 or 6 years there, hitting everything.
Mm-hmm.
So were you feeling burnt out almost? Like, was it like just
Oh, I was so glad to get away from the fan cool and get on that F5. I was so excited. And then after it lost its gumption.
yeah.
And then so I kind of lost my gumption
Sure.
too.
Pretty stoked seeing 108 and then to have lose it, and then it's
Yeah.
just like, wow.
And then start working on it and clutching, and it's like, don't know what what happened, why it lost all of its speed.
Yeah, because you're learning something totally new again, going from a Polaris to an Articat. But then, so then they switched the rule around. Were people mad about switching to go to 500s to 600, or did people just like not care?
I don't think anybody was really mad about it, other than, and I wasn't mad because I was going to get another new sled. I mean, that 500 ran perfect.
Yeah.
And I sold it. It was a perfectly running sled. I rode it all year. And then they come with we had to get F6. And then
So yeah, that was a hell of a jump going from 2 years going from 440s to 600s now. That was a kind of a different world there then, where it changed. So yeah, 04 F6, and you got a hookup deal on that one.
yeah, I was talking to my buddy Bubba Ness. I think everybody knows Bubba. And Bubba got me hooked up with a sled, and sent my wife to go pick it up, and she did it, and that was a really good snowmobile.
Met Hector up at the race shop, and
Worked out really well.
because yeah, you raced that sled for many years.
Many years.
People know that sled, the F6. So then, did you race it in that season then? In 04? Did you race?
Yeah, I raced the Masters class at Pine Lake. You know, I can't remember how I did at Pine Lake that year.
Oh, really?
No, but I went. The only thing I remember of
No, they didn't have Pine Lake that year.
Oh, they didn't?
No, no, there was a lull in between there when. So yeah, it is like a year behind because it has Justin Winter here winning in 02.
Yep.
So, but yeah, then they didn't race there until the Gonvick 100, which they have on the list here as the Gerald Durdall race in 07, 08 or 07, 08. So there was a lull there between 02, 03 to 07 of no Pine Lake races. Why was that? Any idea why? The reasoning?
No,
Because what was the circuit at that time? Was that USCC, or were they still in between like an ISOC or a fans or?
I forget reading. I think 04 was USCC or something like that, I believe.
But so yeah, that was weird to not go to Pine Lake for all those years.
Yeah.
To go there from 87 all the way to 02 and then just be like,
Shut her down.
We're taking 3 years off.
yeah.
Yeah, that would.
Well, actually quite a few, because then my father-in-law, David Bakke, helped promote the Gonvick 100 that they have on here in 07, 08, and Brian won both of those. But then they actually didn't go back to Pine Lake until it was the 2011, 2012. It was that year right after Pat Mock had passed away. Because then it was Jesse Stragg was the one that was running that first race back. So yeah, if you knew any information on why they weren't going to Pine Lake those years.
no, couldn't come up with nothing.
Yeah.
But my Firecat, the F6, the first year I took it to Natawash, and I won the Pro 600 on that.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah,
Was that?
and that had to be 04.
You think so?
Yeah,
Because wasn't there
well,
one?
which would have been like, I suppose if it was 05, then at the end of the season.
Yeah, March of 05.
Yeah.
Sure. Because wasn't there one year where you won Pro 600, Snowdeal Open, and the 600 radar run or something? Was that all in 1 year?
And the old guy class too.
And the Masters.
And the Masters.
So that?
Yeah. That would have been that year.
So oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that thing I got that thing going really good.
Yeah. So yeah, that was I would say probably one of your best weekends.
Yeah.
To do all that. Because I remember that as a kid. I think I remember being at the Piners there, and it was a hell of a party.
Yeah, I think I remember that year way back in the day. That was kind of when my old man kind of restarted racing again.
Oh, really?
Back in them years. Yep. Yep.
And I was 5, so I don't remember shit.
But after all that, I had to go and do the radar run just to see how fast this thing was. And it was, I don't think it was windy or nothing, but it was 98.7 and 1,000 feet. And apparently that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That is.
On a bone stock F6.
Yep.
Yep.
Just clutching and gearing.
Yeah.
Never even had the heads off that thing.
No,
I didn't put pistons in it until 4,000 miles.
Oh yeah.
but it was you did have a reflash in that one though.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, that was a good sled. I mean, the Longtons are still trying to run Firecats. They're a good sled.
They are a powerhouse of
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
So then there was a lull here in between of what I don't know what you're doing. So like 05, you were kind of just
I hurt my knee.
okay. That was you tore your ACL.
Yep. I had to have surgery on my knee.
God, that's when you tore your ACL when I was 5.
I think so, yeah.
God,
Yeah, that would make.
I remember you flopping your leg around.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That might be my earliest memory.
So we could go back into like early 2000s. When did you get into dirt biking? When did that come into play?
96, I think.
Oh, really?
Well, I had some older dirt bikes, but then I got my first decent dirt bike was the one I bought from Chad Deerdle. And then so me and all the Justice boys and Josh, we were all getting bikes, and they were talking to me into going dirt bike racing. So we were
Perfect.
we were practicing, and I started building a track at my house. I built the first few corners with a shovel.
God.
And bermed them up, and we were riding, and Eckery had a track. DJ Eckery had a track in Shevlin, the sand track, Eckery Land. We'd go there and ride and just pound laps. And so my first dirt bike race I ever went to was the vet class. I was 28 years old.
That's a vet class? Are you kidding me? What the hell?
25 and older is vet.
Really?
Yeah, it's still kind of like that. It's 25 to kind of 30, kind of depending on where you go.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that was a 97 KX 125.
94.
Oh, 94. Oh,
94
really?
TX.
Oh,
And we all went to the Fertile Fair, and then I ended up doing pretty good. I won the vet class there.
Nice.
That was awesome. I was pretty stoked about that. That was my first dirt bike trophy.
Yeah.
Ever.
God, that had to be pretty damn cool. Like, holy shit, I'm actually good at racing.
I wouldn't say it was good. I just ended up winning.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're better than everyone there. So, yeah, you are.
Just
yeah.
the vet class. It was.
so yeah, then you kind of ran that old KX there all the way up until 98 when you got that CR 125.
99
Oh,
CR.
no.
That was a brand new dirt bike showroom. It was $4,000.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Miss them days.
Could you imagine going to get a brand new bike for $5,000 right now?
Yeah, wouldn't that be a blast? We'd all have brand new stuff.
Oh, heck yeah.
No, I'd even have one. I wouldn't even ride it. It would just be sitting here.
So yeah, the dirt biking, you got pretty into it there in the mid 2000s. It was
Yeah. Well, you were riding dirt bike too, so that made it fun.
yeah. Because yeah, then but you weren't racing. You were just bringing me to the races at that point.
Yep.
So yeah, you were just kind of doing it just to stay in shape for snowmobiling.
Yeah, I only did a few dirt bike races at Duffer's Bar and in Casino,
Yep.
River Road.
Well, like late 90s, you were doing like the fair races and stuff, though, weren't you? Like with
Not a lot of them, just a few.
oh really?
Yep.
Oh okay. Oh, so you never really did get into racing bikes much, just a lot of riding.
Yeah, a lot of riding.
Huh. Just too busy bringing my little dumb ass to all the races. Because yeah, we went to a lot of races.
Yeah,
So-
all the classes with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50s, PWs, 50s, KTMs. Then he got him a Suzuki 65. That was a good bike. Held up.
Yeah. YZ85, and then we took 10 years off.
Yeah.
A little 10-year break.
After the YZ85, that was enough.
Yeah. You're going too fast right now.
Yep,
You're
going
cra-
too fast for your own good.
Yeah.
You got enough trophies. Calm down.
Yeah, there was 3 nasty crashes, one after another. And I told Gunnar, I said, that's it. We're done.
I think that like
You were too big.
I was too big for it, but then it was also like I was kind of getting out of it. Like I wasn't enjoying it as much as I was as a kid. And then we were also getting into football. So I think my mind was kind of going more towards like other stuff than like when I would get on the dirt bike and I was thinking about other stuff. So then that's how I think the crashes were happening. So that's when you get on a bike right now, it's like, it's only thinking on the riding. And then like once you're like 25, 30 minutes in and you start thinking about like, oh man, what am I going to have for supper tonight? that's you know, it's
Time to get
okay,
off.
Yep, time to pull off.
Did I leave the stove on?
Time to call it a moto.
Yeah.
So 05, you hurt your knee, but you're helping Jason a lot.
Yeah. Jason was coming up.
My brother-in-law, Jason Baki.
And he did one I-500 on the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he did really well. He was 4th, I think. And the sled was just slow. He said the Articat guys would just drive by him like he's just in the
Sitting
way.
still.
Yeah. And then Jason came back.
Got a brand new 05 Rev.
05 Skidoo. And his first race, he had arm pumps so bad. He said he could drive a nail with his forearms. And that son of a gun, he never had arm pump again. And he ended up winning the semi-pro title and the improved title.
Yep. And the I-500 that year.
And the I-500.
And yeah, it was first in the semi-pro stock in the I-500 and then 3rd overall behind Brian and Ergman.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. 3rd overall. So yeah, Jason had some good years, 05, 06, 07, I think. Was because then he went to that nitro and then the nitro kind of ended it.
Yeah.
In
that was the
08.
end of it. Yeah.
How did he fix his arm pump after that one time?
I don't know. It was just got over it.
Yeah. Didn't get it anymore.
Just never got on.
Oh yeah, you say it's like a mental thing almost if you think about it.
yeah.
So yeah.
For sure. If you're on the line and you're jacked up for the race and
Just gripping everything.
5-6 corners in, you're hanging on for dear life, you're gonna get arm pump like that.
Yep.
Like you just gotta flow. Like there's a flow to it. Because if you're like try squeezing a tennis ball as hard as you can, as many times as you can, you're not gonna be able to do it for very long.
Yeah.
So like that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Could have easily been just that.
Just holding on too tight. Yep. That's what it comes down to too. If you're uncomfortable about something or. But yeah, arm pump's weird. Like even the pro motocross guys still get arm pump. Like they'll just like my setup was off or something, so it just tightened up.
I've had it where my glove straps, tighten on my gloves. Even that little bit of restriction, that freaking kills.
Yeah, or the cuff of your jacket is too tight or something, or if you have tight gloves. Or, yeah, arm pump's weird. It's not like even some of the top pro guys, they deal with it their whole career. Yeah, like it's just something something in their arms too. So then 05, you didn't race, blown out knee, but then so Jason did so good on that 05 Skidoo that you thought you should get a Skidoo too, right? Yep. So you ended up getting an 06
And
Rev.
Brian too. Brian Deerdahl was doing really good on Skidoos too.
Yep. Watching those two guys dominate on that. Well, the Rev was revolutionary, hence the name. But
Is that why they named it that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep. Well, yeah. But yeah, that 05 Rev was like, well, because it had done good in like 03, I think was at the end of 03, they kind of came out with it, the beaver tail looking thing. And then 04, it was dominating in snowcross because it was stand-up, ready sled. But you got an 06 where it went to the SDI.
No, I didn't have the SDI.
Oh,
the
really?
carbureted one.
Oh, really? But yours was not as good as Jason's 05.
No, they did some different stuff to it. It had shorter front shocks and a different skid frame, and it was just out of balance.
Oh,
it just
really?
wasn't very good. It was all right. I put longer shocks on it to straighten it out, and that really helped, but it just was never the same as like Jason's or Brian's. I think Brian will even say his best one is his 04.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because, I remember stories. You did not like your 06.
No, I never really had any good finishes on it.
Yeah.
I was 4th in the points in the Masters, third. I ended up 3rd in the points. I raced the whole season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Finished out in 3rd.
Because you hit a rock in the I-500. A rock or?
I hit a washout on the riverbank.
Oh.
And it hooked a ski and it just made a hell of a whack. And I was Superman flying through the air.
Holy shit.
All I seen was the ground coming. And I was like, tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
Oh my God.
Because
How far did you fly?
probably 20 feet. I don't
Holy
know.
shit.
Because it was going downhill. It was going downhill, and it hooked a washout, and it just snagged it, wrecked that whole front end like nothing.
Because you said when you got back on, one ski was like this, and the other one was back
Yeah,
there.
it was about close to 5 inches off.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I still had 140 miles to go driving it.
Oh my God. Did you
And-
do it?
Yeah. Had a big blister on one hand, and it was crazy on the landings because the skis are so far out of whack. You'd land, and you didn't know which way it was going to shoot, one way or the other. Just land.
Just sketchy.
Do you want another one?
No, I'm good.
No?
No, I'm in training mode.
Oh,
Only
yeah,
one
yeah.
beer.
Yep, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep. Kyle, you're recovering from.
Yeah, I had enough for you last
Yeah. I believe you.
Yeah.
The people watching are going to think that you're just.
Yeah.
just
Holding back.
Yeah. No, I'm in pain. That's all.
You're super pumped for this episode.
Yeah, you
Look
were
at you.
jacked for this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I made a mistake last night.
Yeah, well,
I've been in pain all day.
we're not professionals at this.
No,
yet, so yeah.
No.
Oh, God, you need some Coke or
You want
Adderall
soda
or
pop or something?
Yeah, soda pop. It's good cold soda pop.
Yeah.
Soda
Get some
pop and a
sugar
hot
in your
dog
system.
and we'll be good.
So yeah, 06. Yeah, I have a lull here in between like 07, 08. What were you doing then?
Helping Josh.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. On the Polaris Dragon.
Yep.
Yep.
I was the pit guy.
Sure.
Yep.
So
Dragon, not a fusion.
Oh, he had a Fusion too, but that was. Well, I was on my Firecat then too. So
Okay.
it was,
Yep. I remember them racing them fusions. It was goofy. Right before the IQR.
Wait, how'd Josh do on his Dragon?
he did really good. He was top 3 all the time. Third in I-500.
Oh, nice.
The one I-500 we had to go to.
down here.
It was after the race, and we were going to tear down, and this is how Josh is. And so he's going to bring the sled over to the blue tarps to work on it. They had a spot for us, and I was going to bring the truck and trailer over there. And I'm all excited, and I'm driving his truck and trailer. We get over there, and Josh opens up the door to get some tools, and all the tools fall out on the ground.
Oh my God.
Oh, I felt so bad. I didn't close the toolbox when I started driving. And then, so in Josh's words, the only thing he says, "Oh, I was going to straighten that out anyway."
Yeah, that sounds like him.
And the whole toolbox had flipped over. Everything was on the floor.
Oh, no.
Couldn't believe it.
Just
yeah.
getting ready to work on stuff.
Just
too.
getting ready to tear the motor apart because he was getting into tear down.
And yeah, that sounds exactly like Josh. Doesn't get too worked up about anything. And
Yeah.
just, I was about to straighten that out. No big deal.
He was really easy to work with when I was helping him. It was super fun because he was always doing really well, and he's in the front, so I'm involved.
Yeah.
You know? So it really made it fun for me then being involved in it.
Yeah.
And you just kind of put your racing aside just to help Josh, or you were kind of over it, or
I was kind of getting over it.
yeah.
Yeah, blowing out a knee will kind of do that.
Yeah, it was a little sketchy coming back after that. You certainly don't want to do it again.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it happened on a dirt bike, so it's not
Yeah.
like you were going to do it again on a snowmobile, because it'd be hard to kind of. I suppose people have done it.
Yeah, people have done it playing basketball.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
everything actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going up some stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Football players are the ones that just like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because it can happen so easy.
so helping Josh, and then you got a Snow Pro 08 Snow Pro 600.
Yep.
Now that I remember. I'm old enough to remember that one.
I think that would have been like 2010. I think. Because
Yeah, it was
maybe 09.
09. It was
Yeah.
only a year old when I got it.
Yep.
I got it used from a guy in Grand Rapids. And
Just
had
because.
planned on I was going to do some racing on it. And that sled was just not sled to do racing on.
No, that first year, that 08 Snow Pro chassis, I think they've said that it was pretty twitchy.
Yeah, it was really twitchy. Almost threw me off a couple times just for no reason other than trying to go too fast in some bumps.
But it was fast.
No, not
No?
terribly fast. It was quick, and it would rev really. It revved like a mod sled. That part was really fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
But you just didn't want to get it too fast in some bumps that were weird.
Yeah, because there's some videos on YouTube of those guys getting head shaken and just doing the swap.
Yeah.
And just, yeah, no thanks.
But then Dave had a 2010, and he said that one was really good.
Yeah, so yeah, I think 08 they had the geometry was off in the skid frame or something.
I'm not sure where it was wrong, but it was wrong.
It was wrong.
Because then I think in 2012, the first year of the Pro Cross chassis, I think that was also a twitchy sled too. Because then there was also something was off with the geometry. Because then 2013 was a much better sled as well. So yeah, you kind of had a point there where you didn't really race at all, like in 08, 09, 2010. But until we went to a race down in Walker, I think it was that 10-11 season. To just watch, and they actually had a trail class. So, so yeah, we went and watched, and they had a trail class, and there was actually payout in it. So that caught Dad's eye. It was a trail class, old sleds, like pretty much run what you brung, pretty much kind of class.
As long as it was a 500.
Yep. Yeah. So you caught your eye. So then the following year, they were coming back to Pine Lake. And so you got yourself a 2000 XC SP 500 45th anniversary sled.
Yep.
And were you there, Kyle? Were you?
Yeah, I was around them years. Yeah.
Yep. So that would have been a USCC that year.
Yep.
Jesse Stragg was the one running it that weekend. And so yeah, so it's always fun to kind of compare times with other racers out there. And so I wrote down one thing because I remember it. And we went out that morning in the trail class. You were on that sled. I was on the 99 XC SP 500 non-power valve. But we went out there for some reason. They put us out there at the same time as the pro and semi-pro guys for like the 2-lap qualifiers. And Dad's timed on the 500, he would have because we were out there on the track at the same time. Dad would have qualified 5th in the pro class.
Jesus Christ.
And first in the semi-pro class within the same second as Jordan Torgerson on a 600.
On that old sled.
Yep.
On that old 500.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was pretty cool. That was a good year on that. So yeah, getting back into it I think it was 11-12 for that whole season for 2011-2012. That whole season, you had a really good year getting back into it.
We ran the whole season, and me and you.
Yep, in the trail class. Because that's what I did. I took a picture of your trophies on the wall from that year.
But I didn't join. So I didn't win. I wasn't in.
Yeah, you weren't in the points. Yeah.
Oh.
So I didn't join for the season.
Yeah.
My plan was only just do a couple of the ice races.
Yeah.
But it was working so good that it was like, I got to do them all.
Because it was payout.
Yeah.
You're getting paid back. You're at least making your entry fee back.
Yeah.
So
it's not very fun to, like now they've taken the money out of the trail class, and they took the money out of the 50 plus class too. And so for me to go enter 50 plus and having no chance to get my money back, it really takes the fun out of racing.
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, that year you went down to DL and you won down in DL too. And I was on my way to getting second in DL, but the snow dust was so bad down there that we had worked our way into like the semi-pro guys or something into some lap traffic. And I got waved off the track a lap early. So I didn't get to finish my third lap. Yeah. So I pretty much wasted that race.
Oh, no.
I remember
wow.
What, were you on a Rev?
No, I was still on that black XC 500.
The non-exhaust valve.
Yep.
I come around and Gunner was already in the pits.
Yeah, already taking his helmet off and everything.
With the other guys that were getting...
because there were so many people out there that and it was a short track too, because I think when we came around for the first lap, they were still waving people out there. So it got all mixed up. So I got cut a lap short.
Yeah, you just saw the checker flag.
Yeah, they gave me the checkered flag,
so
and
it's
I
like,
was
well-
like, the snow dust was so bad. Like
Yeah.
I thought for a second, I was like, maybe they cut the race short, but no,
Yeah.
they were just giving the checkered flag, and so that was a bummer. And then we went to Grafton, and you got third in Grafton.
I tried something different with the skid frame. For some stupid reason, I wanted to try a different mounting position on the rear shock.
Oh,
And or no, the pull rods actually. And I tried it with sharp carbides practicing, and it was really good. But then once the carbides got dull, then it did not work.
yeah, because you said it worked really good on the river or in the ditch. It was vice versa, one or the other. It sucked it.
I couldn't turn on the river.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just couldn't turn under power.
Yep.
So then I just put it back to the way I should have left it alone, because I had a really good setup. The one day I really worked on it. I had the skid frame out like 4 times on working on that rear shock alone. And I came up with some nice valving for it. And Donnie Killian still has it.
Oh yeah.
So if he ever wants to know what I got in that rear shock, he's just got to take it apart.
Yeah. I see your black XC is for sale around here.
Yeah, it was sitting in the alleyway right back here. And
My neighbor. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, I went to
really?
high school with him. Yeah.
Oh
Matt.
yeah, it was sitting in the alleyway, and it had a number 5 on it, and it had the USCC stickers on it, and
He caught me mowing the one day, and he stopped, and he was like, "Yeah, I got this. I'm pretty sure that's your old sled." I'm like, "Really? You sure?" It's like, "Oh yeah,
it doesn't
is."
look nearly as nice as
No,
what we had.
no. I kind of want to buy it just to have it.
Yeah.
Kind of cool story behind that.
So Oslo, you got second. There was some
Little controversy there in Oslo. There was a guy, I'm not going to say any names, but
There's a man.
I came up and passed him, and I still remember his number. It was on the back of his jacket. It was flapping, and I totally passed him. And we get to the end of the race, and they got this guy beating me. And I went in the trailer and asked, and said, "No, he came in front of you." And I'm like, "Well, okay." So
Yeah.
I went to that guy's trailer to ask him about it, and then there was nobody around.
So yeah, that was Grafton and Oslo, two race weekends in a row, blown up engine for me.
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of on why that sled gunner head blew up twice is, and we were using premium,
Yep.
but the gas quality wasn't as good as the time when that sled was built. So the jetting had to be adjusted a little richer than what it said.
Then we went up to War Road, and we thought it was going to be an ice race. So we went up there on ice sleds.
We were called that drop it on the ground. It's going to be an ice race only. And we're the only 3 sleds up there lowered.
Right through the 4-foot deep cattail whoops.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We ended up winning though.
I won
Holy shit! On an ice setup.
ice mode. The only thing that saved it was because it was warm. So when you'd hit, the snow would just
Bust up. Yeah.
fly.
Yep. And I just about ran. We were in staging, and I looked down at my gauge. I'm like, "Dad, should I put some gas in?" And like minutes before we're about to take off, and I think I had like a little over half a tank. And when I came in, it was empty.
Yeah.
And I think I got 4th up there just because my sled was just.
Oh, there the jetting was too rich then.
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
it was really doggy.
Yeah,
Yep,
because it was warm that day.
Yeah, you're like, this thing's not blowing up again.
You were going to finish this race.
So then I think that was the same year that there was big controversy down at Natash, where the Expert 85 class was a big thing.
Yeah.
So you brought the 99 XC SP 500 down there, non-power valved,
Yeah.
and you waxed all the Snow Pro 500s.
I looked in the rule book before I did this, and it said through the Polaris part, you could look at everyone, Articats, what are the rules, in the Polaris, and it was a non-power valve 500. And so that's what I went with. And I went down there and I asked them, and come down to it, well, they were bitching about that it's got way too much horsepower, and it's got 95 horsepower. And I was like, oh, it doesn't. It's cast iron line cylinders. I mean, they're not even Nickel cylinders.
Yep.
And but I couldn't prove it. I still can't prove it. What the horsepower is on that sled.
Yeah.
And it was. I should have went right home and grabbed a rule book because I had a USXC rule book and went down there and showed them.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that nobody else down there brought out a rule book.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody had a rule book.
Yeah, no one said that. Let's look at the rule book.
No, they gave Dad the checkered flag and the black flag, and the Snow Pro 500 guys were pissed.
But oh well, it all ended up. I got my entry fee back, and
Yeah. Tom MacArthur was trying to give you as much time as you needed to try to prove yourself.
yeah,
But just never.
I just couldn't come up with nothing that was proof.
Yeah.
Polaris does not acknowledge the horsepower rating on that sled.
Yep.
What the
And
hell?
They won't.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah.
so weird.
I said it's an old sled. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Well, they're just not going to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, then you they made a rule for you. It seemed like that.
You guys were so good on the old sleds. They made a rule so you guys couldn't race your old sled.
Well,
I don't know if they purposely did that. But
Why else would they?
so yeah, then going into the 12 and 13 season after Dad dominated did really good in the trail class, then they took the money out of the trail class for that next following year. And Dad was pretty mad at Pine Lake because they gave money at Pine Lake, but then they said after that we're not paying back anymore. So then you ended up switching to race some semi-pro races, which you were like fifth, and then I think you had some trouble down in DL, maybe like an 8th or something on that XC 500. You tried racing semi-pro just so you could try to make some money back on it.
Oh, yeah.
So they kind of wrecked that class for you, not doing payback anymore. So then I ended up racing that whole year on that one in the 2013 season, and then I won the championship that year. But so yeah, you kind of got kicked out of that class.
Well, they made a rule change to. It worked out. I was racing at Pine Lake, and I didn't know that they were going to do EFI only.
That was
So my class was going to be the I-500 class.
that would have been in the 2014-15, the 2015-16 season.
Because it was production sleds only. You don't have to race against snowcross sleds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's premium only.
Yep.
So no race fuel.
Yep.
So it was going to be a perfect class for me.
Yep.
And I qualified second place at Pine Lake.
Yep.
And then they said, no more of that.
Yep.
You got carburetors. You can't race that class.
Yep. I wrote that down. I-500 class, EFI only.
Yeah.
Again, changing the rules.
Yep. Kick the old sled out.
Yeah.
But then, then that March of 2015 was the last actual Natawash race, the last year that the Natawash Night Riders put it on. And you actually won the Pro 600 class on the Firecat.
Brought the old Firecat out for that one. And
One last hoorah.
Yep. So yeah, that was, so you got the last Pro 600 Natawash Night Riders win.
so I've won the pro class at Natawash 3 times.
Yeah.
I think I caught a dub on the vintage that year.
Oh, really?
Yep, down there. Yep. That was before the USXC stuff, so you could run 500s in a LT grade chassis or whatever.
Oh.
So, yeah. I think that was my first win down there. Was that race? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the before then, that was one of the few weekends I actually didn't race down there because I was on that Skidoo at that time, but then we had sold it. And so I just gotten the Yamaha Nitro like a week before Natawash, and we didn't race it down there that year. So it was one of the few times I didn't race down there.
What year did you race my 600 at Natawash?
That would have been
I didn't. I must have had my.
I think that would have been the 2012, 2013, or 2011.
Because you had my sled and you were in second place for a long time.
Yep. Yeah. I raced the Traction 500. I won that, and then the Traction 600. There was a guy on a F7 Nighthawk edition, I think they are, but it was claimed as 600. And then the 2 Faust brothers.
Yep.
Were in the traction class, which usually like the top guys usually didn't race the traction classes. But so yeah, I got the whole shot. A Firecat guy just pulled away, and then I had the 2. I was just like 14 16, 17, no, probably 15, 16 years old. And I had the two Faust brothers behind me on their brand new IQRs. And I'm on that old XC500. And so that was pretty fun. But they had the top speed on that thing in the snow at least down there. So I ended up getting fourth down there in that thing. But yeah, that was.
If it would have been an all ice groove, it would have been pretty tough.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
That 500 was pretty fast.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a good sled. So then, so yeah, then going into 15 was when I had the Nitro. 15, 16 was my first year on the Yamaha Nitro. And you actually, was that the year you bought a Nitro also?
No. Yeah, I did buy a Nitro.
Because I have short-lived Yamaha Nitro.
Yep.
That ugly one.
Yeah.
Ugly one,
The ugly yellow and gray.
The windshield was about this tall on it.
Yeah. Yellow, gray, and like some white in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, it looked like shit.
Yep.
God.
So I think that was that 16, 17 season. One of those two. And you weren't. Pine Lake was really weird that year because we got some really hard, icy snow on top of the lake. And the lake was just weird. So you never really were too happy with your setup on that Nitro.
It only was really good when the ice first came on.
Yep.
And then it handled really good. And then after that, the handling kind of went away. And all lined up for the first Pine Lake race.
Yeah. You were in staging.
Ready to go. And they waved the flag, supposed to go out there. And I turned the key and nothing happened. When I shut it off, the starter apparently landed on a dead spot.
Oh, no.
And so there was nothing you can do. You can't get to it.
Yeah.
And I pulled all the plastics off in staging. All the sleds are leaving. And it's like, well, wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are the chances?
Yeah.
What are the numbers on it landing on a dead zone?
Yep. And we got that. We pulled the starter out and spun it by hand and then hooked the battery back up to it and fired right up.
Yep. Just landed on just a dead spot.
Yeah.
So I put a new starter in it and then sold it right away.
Yep.
And then I went and got a
Viper.
Viper in the cities.
Yeah, I think you raced the F6 a little bit in between there, like here and there, from that like 2015 to whenever you bought the Viper. But I have no records of that. But I know you did though. But then, so yeah, you've been on the Yamaha Viper and then dabbling back into the classic class stuff with the old XC600 the last few years. But you had some good, you've had a lot of podium finishes, but kind of like you've been on a string of just some bad luck, kind of like with blowing in the belly pan on your Viper. And then you had that chain case issue with the Viper also. And
Well, I blew a belt in Okoboji.
Yep.
But now being back with the vintage stuff or the classics,
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I got my wife's old 600 out there. That thing runs really good.
Oh, that 12-13 season when you did race the XC500 at Pine Lake, and me and you battled, but you forgot.
Somebody was talking to me when I was changing jets.
I think you were talking to Paul Ruckriegel, Clearwater Coating. I think they were standing around next to us.
Well, there's a bunch of people walking around and you're trying to work on your sled and they come up and talk to you. Hey, good job out there. And then you're going back and working on the sled. So
Yeah.
Put the same jet size back in it or something?
No, I changed jets and getting ready to go and put it all back together and didn't hook up the oil lines to the.
Oh, no.
Yep.
To
I
the
remember
rack.
that.
Yeah.
So I was there, raced the whole race with no oil lines hooked up.
Yep, two laps. I think it was. We went 2 laps.
And I could smell something burning, and then all of a sudden it starts revving weird.
Yeah.
And Gunner's catching me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching like, God, why is Dad slowing down? Is he getting tired? Like, what
Just
the hell?
beat him across the line.
Yep. It was close.
With no oil lines hooked up. I couldn't believe I did that. I was so mad. And then it lasted like 2 weeks after that. Then the crank finally went out.
Yeah, I think I rode it to school, and right on the way home, right like 100 yards from Mom and Dad's house, it died.
Went out.
Crank bearing locked up.
Oh, funny.
Now, even in your YouTube video or your GoPro video racing,
Yep.
I remember Dad pointing down at his sled like,
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong here.
No. So yeah, that's a pretty good career.
30 years of having fun.
Yeah, pretty damn cool.
We're
Pretty damn
still
cool.
going.
And still,
We're still hammering.
yeah, still 57 years old, still giving her hell. 58 now, yeah. Yep.
Just really excited to get this new one coming, and Gunner's new sled, working on that. Just started working on stuff last week.
Yeah. First week of October now, it's wide open on sleds.
Sled
Just
mode.
tear down everything.
Yep.
But I have to give a lot of props to Gunner. He was doing all the work on his 4-stroke when he first got that 15 ZR 7000, and it wasn't fast.
No.
They're not fast right out of the blocks, and that was all Gunner on that one. He did all the testing, kept all of his own notes. You got to write everything down.
Oh yeah, look at him. He's got
I got
paper all the
notes
time.
for the interview.
Yeah.
And Gunner was buying his own parts on that, and we were out there working together. And luckily, I had the Viper, so we had something to compare to. And then so we can just race back and forth. It's so much better when you have a teammate to work together.
Yep.
Yeah, that was where I learned to do all the clutching pretty much was on that 4-stroke, just changing everything, just one after another. All right, what does this do spring? What does this spring do with these weights? What do these weights do with this spring? It's just one after another. But yeah, I think I got that from you, because even when you have a good setup, it's
You never stop.
never satisfied.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this setup is good. This is a good baseline, but I got all this other stuff I can try just to see if this baseline can get any better. Especially when you're testing, because we're testing too. It's like, okay, this is good for one lap, but what is this going to be at the end of lap 10?
Yep.
Like, how good is it going to be after 90 miles? So there's a lot of that too.
So on what year did you find your good setup? Was that the first year or was it the second year?
No, it was definitely the second year. Because
Second
that
year.
first year, I was still fat. That first year, I was still fat, and we didn't have a setup. We were still struggling with setup.
Just trying.
Yep. Because we were trying to use like 600 suspension stuff on that 4-stroke, and it was just too heavy. It wasn't working. So that whole first year, it was kind of fast, but it wasn't. I think it came around that next year is when I finally found some clutching stuff that held up and worked, and then definitely the setup was way better. So then that was the year that I was doing good, and then cracked that first heat exchanger.
Yeah, we kept working on handling, and only way to get that thing to handle was it had to be stiff.
Yeah. So that was a lot of time.
And then he got strong enough to drive the damn thing too.
Yeah. That's one thing you got to be. You started training to move that thing around.
Yeah.
And it definitely pays off.
Yep. Yeah, there's when you're fat and out of shape, it's not
not
easy.
It's not a good combo on the 4-stroke.
No, that's for sure. So no, that's been a good sled so far since then. Any other?
Oh, back to for this coming season.
Yeah.
On the 440, if it's only a 2-man team, is Brody running the 440?
No, if it's 2-man, it's me and you. If it's 3-man, then it's Brody.
Sure. What about 2?
So, well, I'm okay going 2 if you are. My first thought though, if it's only 2 people, it would be you guys again. But yeah. I feel like there's a little more responsibility on my part if there's only 2 people. But yeah.
Well, I'll take care of the gassing and the jetting.
Well, yeah, I know. I just have to get on the sled and ride.
It's
You're
just
in
going to
shape.
take some.
You're good to go.
You're totally in shape. It's just going to take some practice.
A lot more
driving.
practice.
Yeah, because we looked at those trophies after the last time. Those are trophies from 07.
Yep.
So back when Brody was 7 years
Yeah,
old.
that was my last race.
That was my last dirt bike race. Was 07.
Yeah.
At the casino.
Yep. No, we're still waiting on Chad to see if it's 3-man or 2-man or what they're doing. So
Yeah, we might have something in the mix. We might just throw together Fuji real quick, just to see how it goes.
yeah, that's
have fun with it, rather than being so serious like we were last year.
that's
Pissed off.
Yeah, pissed off. Yeah,
Well, that's a story for another podcast about how much time and money and effort you guys put into your XCR.
Yeah, and you guys too. I mean, that thing was up in the air, tore apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this year it'll be a little more lax, you know.
Yeah, a little more laid back.
Yeah. But, no, I should bring that thing in here and then do a tour of it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I wanted last year for us to do like a side-by-side comparison video, but you guys were working on yours so much right up to the race. So we never really did get to just mess around with it and take videos and pictures of it. Because, that thing is mint.
Yeah, a lot of work went into it, that's for sure.
Well, we're coming in on an hour and 50 minutes.
Hour 50?
Yeah, almost 2 hours. Yeah.
Dad was like,
It wasn't that hard, was it?
Yeah, Dad was saying, God, I'll just sit there and talk for like a half hour, then I'll just probably leave.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to be like that when you sit down.
I'm going to be done in an hour.
Yeah.
I'm going to be done in an hour. That's what he said. Huh?
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
100%.
No, that's just, that literally flew by.
Yeah,
Like,
we could keep going, I feel like.
Yeah.
Easy.
You definitely could, yeah. We can break shit down even farther than the timeline.
Yeah, like even
Just, yeah. Screw the timeline. Let's throw in some real questions
well,
here.
like, I mean, we didn't have to go exactly by the timeline, but it was just that's how I kind of put it together. Like,
That's the way it would work for me.
I wouldn't be able to think straight if we were going back and forth between years and years and years.
Yeah.
Well, like, so you got to be buddies with Scott Roy when you were racing him.
Yep.
Well, like, you're buddies with all the Natash guys down there, like Scott and Mike,
super nice
and
guys.
Stevens and Gooner and Ree, and
Yep.
so like, how'd that come about? Just keep going down to Natash year after year after year.
Just keep going to the races.
Yeah, because those guys are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of my best friends.
Yeah, that's what snowmobiling does. Is like I have so many friends that are like that don't even live around here, but it's like, man, if you guys lived in around here, it's just like it'd be one of the gang.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I've kind of found. I don't have, I don't really stay in touch with anybody from high school anymore. We've all gravitated towards, and it's all about snowmobiles and stuff like that.
Yeah, you gravitate what you like to do.
Yeah.
Like there's that group that you just sink into.
Yeah.
No, anything else to add, Dad? I mean,
Not really. It pretty much covers it.
yeah.
Just hoping for the new season coming up.
Yeah, you're really excited about that new catalyst. Is it weird for you to look back on starting in the mid 90s on how much everything's changed to like this new catalyst you're gonna get to going back onto an old wedge?
Not really. Just when we first started racing, they'd make us do Le Mans starts.
Yeah,
No, you have to run with your tether in your hand and jump on your sled and start it.
That was so cool.
That's what I've always joked around about at like drivers meetings, like make it 100 yards, and everybody kind of
100 yards.
it's like
Make them freaking run.
fuck yeah, give us 50 yards.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Then you'd see who was in shape.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
We'd always have to run, and I mean, not everybody's taking off at the same time.
yeah.
Yep, right.
You
Somebody
kind of
might
break.
take 2-3 pulls.
Yep.
Yeah, you fumble around with the tether and
Yeah.
you miss and try to jam it in.
You put grease on there so it slides on easy, but then the drawback of that is it can fall off. Too.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line on how much grease you want to put on it. So
There's even tricks to that stuff.
everything was a trick. Yeah.
God damn.
And then it was nicer before too because you could decide what track you wanted to run in your sled. But now everybody has to have 1.25 inches.
Yep.
They're all the same. They say they're saving money making everybody run the same track. Well, I got a Firecat ice racing track that's got 20 years on it and it's still good.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about like trying? So you're like pretty much set on like Lake Le Mans and cross country. Did you ever try dabbling like pretty far into snowcross at all? Like thinking like, hey, maybe I should try pursuing snowcross a little bit more? Or?
Well, yeah, one weekend, me and Howard, we went to Dresser, Wisconsin for a snowcross. And I just called him up. I said, let's go do snowcross this weekend. Okay. So we went there and I got my ass handed to me. So it was a good learning curve there. You're not ready for that.
Yeah. Never had any oval offers or anything?
No ovals. The closest was MRP ice in Erskine.
Oh,
That was really tight.
what about Strathcona? Didn't you go up there? Were there any
We
oval
raced.
stuff?
There was ovals, snow ovals.
Oh, okay.
It was all in snow.
Yep.
Had some good races in Strathcona. It was always fun going up there.
Yeah.
You'd be on the rough ass dike road and you'd look down in the ditch and there's tracks down there and the smooth ice and you're gone. Crash super hard there too.
Really?
Yeah. Coming across the field about, I don't know, 300 yards from the finish line, a huge ditch. Crossed it wide open on day one. Never let off. Day two, did the same thing. Picked my line, moved over, hit it. About 4 feet deeper, and just hit a dirt wall and went straight in the air and barrel rolled it all the way down. And
Oh no.
luckily, the finish line was to the left because then it wouldn't turn right.
Really? Oh my God. Got lucky turning left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was stupid.
Cross country catches fever.
Yeah.
No, I'm stoked on that.
Yeah.
Anything else to add? Because you said you were only going to talk for a half hour. 2 hours flew by, didn't it?
Now it's going to be.
Yeah, that's
when's-
pretty fast.
When's the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be asking us, when can I come back on?
They'll never let me back.
No, there were some comments. People wanted to hear the Glen Arlaud story. The people wanted
Yeah.
to hear it.
Yeah. People know you.
Yep.
Unlike Kyle here.
Yeah.
People actually know who you are.
Yeah. I'm just a face.
No, this was awesome. This
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
There,
Yeah.
your story is going to be out in the interweb forever.
Yeah.
Just in the void.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully we didn't give away all of our secrets during this one.
No.
No, there's no secret. No. Except grease on a tether.
Yeah.
That's not useful now for how many years?
Yeah.
No, people are still doing that. That's not a secret.
What? Grease on a
and
tether?
tethers?
Well, to make it quicker to put in
Yeah. Otherwise,
on a race?
no. Sometimes, otherwise, it's dry and it won't go on there sometimes. So, anything else to add?
Not for this episode. No,
No,
I'm done.
No, we'll
Yeah.
have to get. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 hours is definitely the longest episode
Yeah, that's
we've
the
had.
longest
So,
we've
yeah.
done. I thought it was long when we held Dustin on the
Yeah,
phone for
yeah.
hour 20. So
I knew this was going to happen. We were
Yeah.
going to do more podcasts, and we were going to do them longer.
Yep.
I knew that was going to
Yep.
happen.
no, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm stoked.
Yeah. There's no way we could have fit that whole story in an hour. You
No,
know?
for sure. No.
No.
And it could still go on and on, just bringing up random stuff like
Grease
Just-
and tethers. And
Yeah, exactly.
and red Loctite.
Red Loctite. I've never heard that story before. That's so cool.
like anything. You'll listen to this back because I'm sure you'll listen to it and you'll think of 20, 30
Yeah.
more stories.
I've already thought of a bunch more.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was after the first episode when I listened to it. It was
Yeah.
like, oh man, there's a good story there I could have told.
Yeah.
Missed out.
But it seems like you're so in the moment that it all
It's
just-
hard to think of it in
and
the
then,
moment.
And then it all, it moves so fast that
Yeah.
it's gone. you
Like
know?
right after last week's episode with Dustin.
Oh, yeah, he snapped you when we were still talking.
Yeah.
Well, right after we finished recording, me and Kyle said, "Oh, we forgot to ask him. There's no Artie Cats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
entered in the Iron Dog this
Yeah.
year." And then I thought, right after, is like, I didn't even ask Dustin if there's anybody he wants to thank.
True. Yeah.
Hey, you got any sponsors you
Right.
want to thank, Dustin? Just something you don't even think of. Like it's just
Exactly.
so. Yeah, I thought it's just weird on what you think of after it's done. But
Well,
These
that was
bottles
good.
suck.
Yeah, but that is the best water.
it's the best water ever.
It's not. It's water, but yeah, it sucks drinking out of it.
No, you squeeze it. You Gomer.
Don't trash it too much. They might be a sponsor.
I don't think so.
Got them on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, give Dad a round of applause there.
There you go. I remember this time. I
Yeah.
have to look it up.
Okay, all right.
I don't have that one.
Yeah. Giving the dog a bone.
That's not going to be one. That's copyright. You have to sing it every time.
No, you got to record me.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we
Giving
could
the
do.
dog
Could be a drop.
bone.
Yeah. But no, thanks again to everybody that watched, listened.
Yeah, and if you made it this far, good job.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
Thank you. We're just gonna keep going with these. Next week we'll be talking about Brody's marathon.
Yep.
Marathon runner episode.
Big weekend.
I'll be like laying down with the mic laying next to me because my legs won't work.
Yeah, it'll probably be a day or 2 days after the marathon. So we'll see what kind of shape you're in for that.
Yeah. Legs might be a little tight.
Bananas.
That'll be fun. I'm going to get a bike and go there and watch.
Oh, you're going to bike with these guys?
Yep.
God damn.
Because the map says they don't close down any trails or nothing. So
Okay.
we'll be able to run. We'll be able to bike right behind Brody.
Just don't run too fast.
You're going to get tired pedaling behind me
We're just gonna be behind you. Just go.
the whole time? No. Not the whole time.
I'll pack a thing of roller skates and then and a bungee cord, and then we can just pull you.
Take them off at the end. Like, holy shit, you beat the world record.
No, heck yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, thanks for having me here, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This is cool as shit.
We've been waiting for this one for a while. Or
Yeah.
it's been in the works for a while.
Yeah, definitely closer, maybe after Pine Lake or closer to the season, see what you think about the new Catalyst once you get on that thing.
Well, if I get some time on it, we'll be back.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.
Good to hear.
Okay, thanks again, everybody.
Yep. Thank you.
Cue the outro, Brody.
Behave.
I don't know the outro again.
You just hit the stop
Okay.
button and I put it in.
Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Given the